So tomorrow we are doing our embryo transfer. It pushed our marriage.
From just my own self-preservation, this is how I'm handling it, so that I'm kind of, it's not that obviously I know that it's happening and I'm obviously a part of it, but in my head I'm just kind of processing it in a way where I'm so yeah. Hello and happy Sunday. It is quite late.
It is, and there's a reason why why we're recording this late.
Sorry, I just did my last call.
Yeah, you've had a busy day of consultations, haven't you?
I have.
Why did you look at my hair?
Because it looks a little bit like a baby chick.
Like it needs shaving. It does need shaving. I'm going to do it in the morning. Thank you.
But we just wanted to jump on and kind of talk about what's happening tomorrow, because I'm flying to Mexico City tomorrow.
You are.
For nearly 3 weeks.
Yeah, you're being picked up at 5:30 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And I will be joining you on the 25th.
Correct.
And I'm there till the 8th of February.
Yeah, and I've been there before. But there's other things happening tomorrow that isn't just me travelling to the airport.
No.
So what's going on tomorrow, Michael? Tell us.
So tomorrow we are doing our embryo transfer in Manchester. Marcella, our wonderful surrogate from Mexico, is here with her two sons and one of our doctors from our team.
Yep.
And the time has come to for our transfer for hopefully baby number 3.
And I think, we've been talking about this for a long time now. It feels like we've been talking about it for a long time.
But we have, haven't we? We've been planning this for probably over a year.
Yeah, but I think we've been planning it for over a year, but I think the kind of the journey and our conversation around another baby has taken longer. Probably since Duke's arrival.
Yeah, probably 5 years.
And it's been something that has taken us probably that time to process.
Yeah.
For lots of varying reasons, nothing in particular, but just generally life getting in the way, but also, is having another baby right for us, particularly with Duke was a real challenge he's an amazing little boy now, but he really challenged us, didn't he?
It worked out okay. No, it pushed our marriage. We went from having Talulah, who was a textbook baby and was a sleeper and didn't have any food intolerances or allergies.
She was quite straightforward, really.
She was really
which I think did lull us into this false sense of security. That let's have another one. And Duke arrived, and he was like, he's come out the other end now, and he's a dream. But he really challenged us, which is kind of, I think, wow.
It was a bit scarring, wasn't it?
Well, I think for me, I was just like, we're just getting our life back together. Duke's now, we've kind of got him settled, and then do we want to go through all that again potentially? And that, I think, just took me a while to really. I
was badgering for another baby early on.
Look, I never had a problem with having another baby, but I think it was always about timing.
Timing and the risk.
And what it would do and all those things. But I think with that absolutely there now, we're on the same page.
Well, it's a good job.
It is.
So 11 o'clock tomorrow will be our transfer.
So Michael's going on his own.
Yeah, I am. Because when we were originally doing all the timings, the dates of when the transfer was first planned was a little bit sooner. It would have fallen on Saturday. So
I would have been there, but I'm not. And look,
how do you feel?
Obviously I would like to be there, but I think psychologically I feel like I'm kind of preparing myself for a outcome one way or another, right? And I think we were really lucky with both of our embryo transfers with Duke and Talulah that they were first-time transfers. And I think when we did those transfers, we were also less experienced in this field and hadn't dealt with a lot of either loss or embryo transfers not happening or not being successful, sorry. So I think I have mentally tried to manage this in a way that surely after 2 first-time transfers, would we be lucky enough to have the same again? So I think...
And there was a failed transfer in between.
No, I agree, there was. And I'm not like,
no,
not
but
acknowledging that, but I think from my point of view and how I'm trying to process and manage this, because obviously now we deal with lots of people and not all of them have first-time transfers. So it's kind of a very different mindset from how we were before.
It's kind of, we didn't know what we know now then.
And now we know it, it's a lot harder to manage because you understand the breadth of the possibility.
You understand the chances and you understand the risks, and we're a little bit more clued up now, and we're realistic.
From just like my own self-preservation, this is how I'm handling it, so that I'm kind of, it's not that obviously I know that it's happening and I'm like obviously a part of it, but in my head I'm just kind of processing it in a way where I'm like just so I'm sad that I'm not there, but in some kind of a way I think it's what I need as well.
There.
It's what I need as well. So, and I think we all have to just be realistic about what, the ideal might be X and Y, and being there might be the ideal, but I think you also have to acknowledge that the world isn't always ideal, and you have to kind of do what feels right for you to be able to manage it in a way that,
No, and I get it. It's
I don't think there's any perfect scenario.
No.
And if being there is possible and it's right for you, then there. And we've both been there for both of our transfers previously.
And I think that's why I just hope that you don't kind of grieve it or regret it. I don't know. But we couldn't make it work.
We couldn't make it work. And I also think that I'm less emotional than Michael.
Yeah.
And I manage and process things in a much more practically focused way, which has always been the way. But, I think you just got to do what you think is right. And I might look back and say, well, God, I wish I was there. But, that's the way.
So.
And also, I think it's different this time because when we had 2 previous transfers and with Talulah and Duke, we just had our own expectation to manage, and we could control when we told other people.
Yeah.
And we've both been really open and transparent with the kids about what's happening. Yeah. So I think also there's my dad head on trying to manage how they are impacted by this, because they don't obviously understand it in quite the same way that we would, potentially process it not working in the same way. So
and the kids obviously know what's happening tomorrow. They've met Marcella, they've met her sons, and they're aware. Talulah, being the 8-year-old that she is talking about it more. Duke less so.
But I think, the context in which they're talking about it is about it happening.
It's happening.
And the baby's coming. And
it's very much this is going to work.
Yeah,
and
that's the thing.
That's a worry.
And and I think that's.
I guess that comes. That's one of the net results that comes with being so open about talking about your fertility journey with your children when they're at an age where they understand. I don't think Duke understands it, really.
No,
but
Duke just understands that he doesn't want another sister.
Yeah.
And Talulah
which has gone down brilliantly.
Another sister. So either way, and that again, this is what we're going to have to manage if we are successful, and we do get another little Johnson Ellis. One of them's going to be really upset.
Yeah.
And that's what's got to be managed as well.
Yeah. So this all happens tomorrow at 11 a.m.
And I just think a lot more dynamic to process and deal with than we've ever had before, I think.
Oh my God. There's telling our kids, there's work is busier. There are more people that are aware that we're doing a transfer than the previous 2 transfers. You know, we've got all of our fabulous, wonderful work colleagues that know. And, you know, that's...
But also, that, for me, that's tough because...
Yeah, no, that's what I mean.
Because I'm a control freak, and I'm also really private, and, you know, we're not in control of what's going on. And if we are more open and we tell people earlier, it just has lots of different dynamics that, you know, we've then got to deal with. So while I absolutely agree about sharing the journey and helping people understand, because again, this is kind of a tool to help people understand the reality of it.
And we had the conversation about what do we share, what do we do, when do we talk about it, and
my default is always not.
Wes has taken some convincing again to put this out there, and you know, and I do respect that. You know, Wes is very private, but again, I think it's, for me, it feels only fair given what we do.
No, but I don't necessarily.
I know you don't.
Only fair.
You don't have to.
No, but only fair to who?
I think only fair to the people that follow any of our accounts and the people that we help.
No, I agree. I totally get it, and I'm not being like for the sake of it, but like only fair. Like, just because we do what we do with that doesn't mean to say that we have to automatically, you know, we deserve the privacy of this process as well. And look, and I know that it's about trying to help people, but I also think that...
But we have scaled back how we're going to share and when we're going to share. So there's been compromise with how that's been managed.
No. Look, I'm not being awkward or disagree with you, but I just think, like, you know, this is a big thing, and just because of what we do, it doesn't make us immune to the emotion and the challenges of it. And I'm not saying you did say that, but that's how I kind of...
Yeah, no.
I don't think we owe anything and anybody... I don't think we owe anybody anything, but I think, you know, I can recognise the benefits of sharing it, but equally, I still want to retain an element of, like, this is something that we can control with us.
Yeah, and we will. And we have agreed the parameters on how and when and all of that. So I'm taking Wes out of his comfort zone a tiny bit.
It's not about my comfort zone.
It is about your comfort zone.
It's not. I just don't think we automatically, you know, just because of what we do and how vocal we've been and like doing stuff online, I don't just think that automatically qualifies so that we have to do X, Y, and Z. You know, I think we should always be...
But I didn't say that.
No. But you're saying you're out of my comfort zone. It's not... I'm...
Take your comfort zone because you're very private. I think given a choice, you would rather you didn't.
I'm comfortable talking about it, but I just think just because we are sharing our journey, that doesn't mean to say that we always have to not retain an element of where
I agree
our
with
journey
you.
And we control what we tell people.
I don't disagree with that. Don't disagree with that at all. I really don't.
It's a balance, isn't it? It's about where's the line. You're always this side, I'm always that side.
We manage life events very differently. We process them emotionally very differently, and that's the wonder of this fabulous marriage and life that we have. Yes. So it's hard to look forward in terms of, mid-September, Talulah was a transfer on the 13th of February. This transfer is going to be 13th of January.
Yeah.
And Duke was the 13th of December.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow, that's a bit, like, crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, and
I also think that there's a little bit more at stake this time because, you know, you have 2 embryos left.
I do. So we're using one of the embryos that I created with the same donor as Talulah.
Yeah, and I suppose that's another kind of thing that we've got to manage, is that there's 2 embryos.
There's only 2.
And we can't create any more using that donor.
With that donor.
So it's... yeah.
And one of the... I think one of the reasons why, we wanted the baby, because we we believe we're great parents. We believe we can offer a lot to another baby, and our kids are going to be the best brother and sister to this new little human, hopefully. And we have, when in the whole decision making process, I felt really strongly about providing a genetic sibling for Talulah. And I think it's really just the guilt from us as parents. I don't think this is necessarily going to be something that is an impact issue for Talulah or for Duke.
But I think it's just about trying to
do everything,
safeguard and like, you know, and if this doesn't work and those two embryos aren't successful, then at least we can say later down the line we did everything we could to do that and it wasn't possible. But I think it's something that we've struggled with in terms of not some of the mistakes, but the way that we created our family, and we could have done things a little bit differently because we didn't kind of know what we didn't know, and we didn't have any support there to do it. And that kind of the net outcome of that is that now we feel that Talulah doesn't have a genetic sibling, and we want to really try and close that circle so that all of our children have genetic siblings and they have that genetic security. They might not care about it, and maybe it's just us.
I you know, the more I think about it, and this has been, you know, a few years in the making in terms of this decision making process. Knowing our kids as I know now, then it probably isn't going to mean anything. But I think it's more.
Which probably gives us a bit of comfort that if this isn't successful, then, you know,
we've still got some more embryos.
We've got more embryos, but like if that's not so important, then we've at least tried, and if it doesn't work, then
it's all going to be fine.
Yes. So stay tuned.
Yes.
Michael's going to do some bits tomorrow. I'll probably do a little bit from the airport.
Yeah.
Just keeping. I always say feel a bit thingy, a bit weird saying sticky thoughts.
Yeah,
so that's kind of the
that's
kind of the tradition, isn't it?
Yeah.
And
yeah. I don't know. You know.
Whatever feels right for you.
What will be will be. Look,
I just want to see 2 magpies tomorrow. That's my That's my little sign. If I see 2 magpies, if I see one, I'll be like, let me go find some more magpies because
please.
I need 2. I need 2.
Go on a bit of a hunt.
Maybe 1 for sorrow, 2 for joy, 3 for a girl, 4 for a boy. Let me see how many I see. Oh my God, that's my little sign.
I'm going to document some stuff tomorrow, so you'll see that in the next video.
This blue light on my neck is the microphone light, so it's not like it's not like an alien on my.
But yeah, that's it. Off we go again, really. So what we have decided to do is that, so for the continuity of the video, or what you may or may not see moving forward, obviously after any embryo transfer there is a 2-week wait, which is typically 10 days, not 2 full weeks. We aren't going to test until day 10, and we will be recording that moment. Whether we share that straight away,
Michael and I are not aligned.
We're not aligned, and that's fine.
So we just need some more time to process that.
And we're not aligned purely, and again, it's really legitimate. It's just down to keeping some news back for us, given the fact that, you know, being 3 weeks pregnant
is really early. And, you know, look, we've seen from a lot of the people we work with they get early pregnancy and it doesn't work. It doesn't move forward to a successful pregnancy.
And we've got our kids to think about.
We're just realistic about the challenges of early pregnancy and how, you know,
and this is
uncertain they still are. And again, it's about how do we manage that news and how do we manage that with our kids.
Yeah.
Because one of the downsides of like what we do and being followed by so many people is that there are a lot of people who potentially through their children have access to our children, you know, and it's about how do we manage that and keep that information and manage it in a way that's kind of protects the kids and protects us.
And that's, I think we've got to live in our little Johnson Ellis bubble for a little bit, I think, because we there's a lot more at stake, and by a lot more we mean our kids. So that's why there might be some delay. So I'm sure you understand that. We do want to be throwing some content out there that's going to hopefully help other people, that talks about the real issues. We don't want to over edit these videos. We want some of these conversations to be unscripted and unplanned, and there are things that we're not going to agree on, but we want to show, I guess, some of the reality and the rawness.
I think one of the things that I learned from our previous journeys is not to hold stuff in, and that's why I'm so like vocal about it. Like, this doesn't feel right for me, and let's talk about this, because like I think previously, and I'm not talking about like being like open and stuff about our journey, but there was a load of stuff that we just didn't,
as a couple, we didn't discuss.
we just didn't talk about, and how it was impacting us and how we felt.
That was more about genetics, wasn't it? And genetic link and genetic loss.
No, it was, but I think no matter what the topic was, I think we didn't have those conversations, and I think we're much more aligned now, and we're both more able to communicate about how we're feeling and how it's impacting us, and the other one does listen, and I think I can't say we had that from our first two journeys with Talulah and Duke, and I think that's why we've learned a lot from those, and we also support people to talk about their things and to communicate with each other, so that it never gets to a point where it was a problem.
Fine. Just quickly, in case anyone is wondering, the reason why Marcella is here and not in Mexico, given the fact how vocal we are about some of the... you okay there?
I'm just a bit tired.
You are tired.
Sorry.
We couldn't trace our donor to get...
the clinic couldn't.
Or the clinic couldn't trace our donor.
Who's a non-anonymous donor.
Oh my God. Let's say that again. So the clinic couldn't trace our donor, who is a non-anonymous or a donor release, identity release donor, and that meant that we couldn't get consent for these embryos to be exported to Mexico.
And one of the requirements from Direction 6 of the HFEA is that donors have to consent to export. And
Quite
if we
rightly.
can't get it, then we cannot export our embryos. So to manage that situation, again, there's always trying to find creative solutions to manage that, is that the surrogate, Marcella, and her boys have travelled over to the UK for an embryo transfer, which is perfectly within
within guidance and regulations, and we've extended their trip so they can all have a little break, and they've been enjoying themselves.
Although it's very cold.
They've never seen snow, which has been cute, and they've loved snow. They've been having some time in Liverpool today, which has been great to see. So the transfer will happen tomorrow, and then Marcella will also have some rest and recuperation and some downtime before they fly home later in the week.
Yes, so that's the update today. This is how we're feeling. I'm not sure if it's going to change tomorrow. It's all kind of feeling a bit
It is
real.
a weird. It's oh God! It feels incredibly real. It feels.
It's all of a sudden just kind of.
It just suddenly come, hasn't it? I'm going to feel really nervous tomorrow because of the conversation with the kids that we've already had, But what will be, will be. We appreciate you watching and messaging and all of the other stuff that you're all really good at doing. So, yeah, we'll keep you tuned. Wes is going to update you from the airport and the plane and his journey. What this also means then is our 2-week wait. We're still apart. So that's going to be a challenge.
Yeah,
so
I don't think we
haven't thought that
logistics of that yet.
We haven't thought, how do we manage that news? How do we deal with that?
I'll kind of start planning that with the Mexico team.
Maybe that's the next video where we start talking about how do we plan announcing whether this has worked or not when you're both in two different, not only countries but continents, and God knows, we haven't even thought that far. But
We'll find a way.
we will. Thank you for watching. I'm Michael,
And I'm Wes.
and we've got an embryo transfer tomorrow. See you later. Bye.
Bye.